as you heard, I come from Zagreb, Croatia, which is former Yugoslav Republic, and I have been working in Documenta, which is a center for dealing with the past, for 5 years, almost 5 years now. And I am here to talk about this oral history project called Unveiling Personal Memory of War and Detention in Croatia from 1941 until present. But first I would like to say a bit more about Documenta. I will give you a short overview of our work, because I think it's important for you to hear what we do, so you can better understand the concept and the objectives of this oral history project. And maybe later in our discussion you can ask me some questions about that if you find some of our other projects interesting to you. So, as I said, Documenta is an NGO from Croatia, which was established in 2004 in an attempt to encourage personal and social processes of dealing with the past and in Croatia and sometimes in wider region, and to establish factual truth about war crimes and other war-related events in Croatia. And the key reason for making such an attempt was this, I would say, long tradition of silenced war crimes and other war events from the past. That means primarily that after the Second World War, when Socialist Federative Republic of Yugoslavia was established, the main or the official narrative was the one to talk about only partisans and partisan movement. And monuments were erected for brave partisans, schools and factories and streets were named after them, because Yugoslavia was celebrating this huge anti-fascist movement, which is one of the biggest anti-fascist movements in the world during the Second World War. So nobody mentioned the victims, especially not the victims of Ustasha and Chetnik and Home Guard troops across all of Yugoslavia, and especially not the mass murders of those troops, as well as some civilians, and the end of the war in 1945, when they were all killed because of the crimes they committed in 1941, but their casualties have never been documented by personal identification. Second group of crimes that were kept quiet during the Yugoslav period were crimes in which Yugoslav government imprisoned many people in the island of Goli, or Goli Otok in Croatia, and those were mainly citizens of Yugoslavia who were convicted of taking Stalin's side after, in 1948, Stalin and Tito broke up their relationship after the Inform Bureau resolution. And you have all these issues from Yugoslavia, and then in the 90s there are wars in Bosnia and Herzegovina and Croatia and Slovenia again. So now we have this tradition of silence about crimes during those wars. Also, when it comes to Croatia, that usually means that nobody talks about Serbian victims in Croatia. The main or the predominant narrative is about Croatian victims in Croatia, although there were many Serbian victims, especially in the end of the war, in 1995, when with Operation Storm, the majority of occupied Croatian territories were liberated by Croatian army, and some Serb civilians were killed. So I gave you a short overview of historical problems that we have and why Documenta is doing what we are doing. So because of all that, since its establishment, Documenta has been systematically contributing to development of social and individual processes of dealing with the past, mainly with different projects in which we are documenting, initiating public dialogue, monitoring war crimes, and so on. And in order to achieve our goals, we are of course cooperating with many other organizations from Croatia, with non-governmental organizations, government institutions, local government institutions, media, religious groups, and of course any other interested individual. Now I will tell you, I will highlight a few Documenta's most relevant projects. Documenta works through 3 different programs, which are documenting, public policies and public dialogue, and improvement of judicial practices and standards, which means that we are systematically monitoring war crimes trials in Croatia and in region from 2004, together with 2 other organizations from Croatia, Civic Committee for Human Rights from Zagreb and Center for Peace, Nonviolence and Human Rights from Osijek. So by joint forces we are monitoring war crimes trials in order to publish reports on those trials and advocate improvement and changes in judicial system, as well in the witness support system in Croatia. We are also monitoring the work of State Attorney's Office in Croatia, and also monitoring proceedings for how to say it, for non-material damages claims, which means that some people in Croatia are suing the state of Croatia for their non-material losses from the war. And in majority of cases, that means that those people are obligated to pay enormous amounts of money because their claims in these proceedings were rejected. So we have a lot of work to do with court system concerning war crimes in Croatia, and the main goal is to assure the rule of law in Croatia when it comes to war crime trials by improving the legal framework and increasing efficiency of the work of the courts, as well as making the role of victims in these processes better in the whole system. When it comes to programs of public dialogue and public policies, we have projects concerning teaching of history, reparations, culture of memory projects, but the main project, the biggest project I want to mention to you is Coalition for Establishment of it's a long name, as Amy said. Establishment Regional Commission for Truth Telling and Truth Seeking about war crimes. And in short, RECOM is an initiative of a coalition of more than 1,800 NGOs from the region, individuals and associations of victims who advocate the establishment of independent, interstate or regional, as you wish, official non-political commission with a mission to collect data about war crimes that were committed in Yugoslavia and other major violations of human rights in the period from 1991 until 2001, and of course resolving the fate of missing persons and locating their mortal remains. As you probably already know, this initiative or this commission is modeled on other truth and reconciliation commissions that we already have or have had in the world, such as the one in South Africa, Sierra Leone, Canada, and so on. The idea about this commission or the coalition was founded in 2008 in Pristina, in Kosovo, by 3 organizations from region: Documenta from Zagreb, Humanitarian Law Center from Belgrade, and Center for Documentation and Research from Sarajevo. Thank you. I'm trying to translate it into English in my head. And the whole idea behind this was the fact that these organizations realized that war crimes trials are the only legal instrument we have in the Balkans that are for determining individual liability for war crimes, and they knew that that isn't enough to create a factual truth about everything that happened during the war. So they finally, after a few years of debating what to do, they finally decided on choosing this mechanism of transitional justice in their future work. Our third program is documenting, and this is the most important of all of our programs. That's why we are called Documenta. We decided on having this program because of the fact that victims of war aren't only a number, than people with their names and families and their personal stories. So we started documenting human losses in Croatia in homeland war from 91 till 95, using scientifically based methodology and contemporary research techniques in order to make a name-by-name list of all victims in Croatia, regardless of their ethnicity, religion, identity, or any other thing. Of course, we are planning to publicly publish those documents we collect. And the key reason or the main motive why we are doing this is the fact that even more than 15 years after the end of the war in Croatia, there isn't still undisputable or verifiable list of all victims in the war in Croatia, which means that government didn't do it so far. And as you already know, of course, when you don't have the exact number of victims, it's a really good field for different political and ideological manipulations with the number of victims. So by implementing this project, we wanted to stop it. We wanted to make impossible false and arbitrary speculations about war victims and in Croatia. And the other thing that's important to say about this project is that by collecting data, we are giving some relevant data to relevant judicial institution in Croatia, and in that way we are helping to individualize the responsibility for certain war crimes in Croatia. So that's about it, about main or the most important project of Documenta. And now I will talk about finally about this oral history project why we all are here. So as you heard, the project is called Unveiling Personal Memory on War and Detention in Croatia from 1941 until present. Sorry. And this is a project that proposes the use of oral history as a method in order to collect and open up individual memories on past traumatic events from different perspectives. The key reason for such an effort is the one that I mentioned before, and that is all these silenced war events from before, which have significantly influenced all of our societies of post-Yugoslav countries, and will certainly and necessarily reflect on future generations also. So therefore we want to affirm personal memories of all interested witnesses and protagonists of historical events in Croatia and preserve them from permanent loss. The main idea behind this project, or our great belief, is that through recording and transferring subjective experiences, it is possible to get a deeper insight into seemingly hidden aspects of political turmoil and conflict, and that such project will increase personal and social processes of dealing with the past, which we find as a crucial precondition for sustainable peace in societies. The other thing is that we also strongly believe that with revealing and disseminating the variety of perspectives on how war affects an individual, we can contribute to a better understanding what are the circumstances that can lead to a collapse of a society and consequently to war. So in this project we are collecting recording video interviews in Croatia. So far we have recorded more than 400 interviews, and all of the interviews are transcribed and translated and uploaded on an open internet platform.